I didn't flinch when the champagne hit my hair. Cold, sticky bubbles slid down my neck as the guests left. My brother's laughter was the loudest, sharp, proud, cruel. The same boy who once held my hand when I was afraid of thunder was now the man humiliating me for sport. He called it a joke. I called it the last straw. You see, Daniel always thought he was smarter than Math Golden Child, the one who could charm teachers, investors, even our parents. When they passed, they will split everything evenly except the beach house. That one was meant to me inheritance, my solitude, my memory. But Daniel wanted it, not to live in, but to sell. He needed cash for his new venture, whatever scam he was chasing this time. When I refused to sign it over, he smiled that familiar smile, one that always came before a knife. And then came the wedding, his perfect little stage. I arrived in a silver dress, nothing dramatic, nothing to outshine the bride. I stayed quiet, polite. I toasted him. I smiled for photos. Then, as the band played and cameras flashed, he made his move. He wrapped his arm around me, lifted his glass, and shouted, "To family yet in the stingy walls." Then, he tipped the entire bottle of champagne over my head. The crowd howled. Phones rose. Flashbulbs went off. He left. My brother, my only brother. I smiled despair lightly because what no one knew was that the wedding was already mine. The discovery came weeks before. I found out he'd forged my signature on a preliminary sales document, trying to transfer the beach house into his company's name. My name, my property, my memories all used as collateral. The lawyer who sent the notice was apologetic, said it looked like a misunderstanding. I said it wasn't, and from that moment, I stopped being his sister. I became his reckoning. For 3 months, I planned quietly. I met with a forensic accountant, then an attorney, one with a fondness for public spectacles. I gathered proof, bank transfers, fake contracts, emails from his shell companies, and one particularly useful wire transfer from the bride's father's account. I didn't confront him. I didn't warn him. I let him plan his big day, his perfect image, his grand performance. I even sent a gift, a framed childhood photo of us at the beach house. I wanted him to remember what he destroyed. And then the day came. Champagne poured, laughter rose. My humiliation bloomed in front of 100 witnesses. But humiliation only stings when it's unexpected. I'd been waiting for that moment because it gave me exactly what I needed, an audience. The lawyer at table 4, Mr. Kavanaugh, stood, raised his voice, and said, "Daniel Rhodes, this wedding is being lived as dreamed, correct?" The room stilled. Daniel blinked. Yeah, I. Because, Kavanaugh said, pulling out a manila envelope, "You've just publicly poured alcohol on the legal owner of the property. Your company fraudulently claimed as an asset. You've been served for fraud, forgery, and breach of fiduciary duty." Gasps spread like fire. Cameras turned. The bright frenzy. Daniel's face strained. The laughter died. I didn't move. I stood, fear dripping, cold, calm. He stammered, something denial, maybe, but Kavanaugh wasn't done. He dropped documents onto the nearest table, proof of forged signatures, falsified statements, and the beach house deed, registered back to me that morning. Then, for the final touch, the accountant I'd hired sitting at the table. 6 confirmed that Daniel's venture fund had been frowned by court order. Every investor he'd lied to was about to see the full audit. It took less than 5 minutes for the crowd to turn. 5 minutes to dismantle his empire. 5 minutes for my brother to realize the wedding he built for power had become his own execution stage. He looked at me, thinly looked, eyes wide, hands shaking, mouth dry. He whispered, "You planned this." I said nothing. I didn't need to, because the truth was written all around him, in silence, in guests, in the slow collapse of everything he thought untouchable. They escorted him out before the cake was even cut. I stayed. The bride's family avoided my eyes. Guests whispered. The music stopped, but I stayed until the lights dimmed, sipping champagne from a fresh glass, same way before, but this time on my terms. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it smiles quiet with her soap hair and glass in hand. He thought it ended when he humiliated me, but endings are just beginnings, if you plan them right. I walked out of that all calm, dry by then, my heels echoing on marble. The beach house key was cool in my palm. My parents used to say, blood makes you family, but respect keeps you one. I smiled because now, finally, there was no family left to disrespect me, only peace, and the sound of waves waiting for me back home.